my goodness. Okay, I'm coming. Hello, get in here. We're gonna play in here. All right, guys, we're down here with Milo for our week 1 video recap. Oh my goodness, he has been patiently waiting his turn up there. Look at this puppy, he is ready to go. So in this video, we're gonna go over all of the things that we've been practicing with the dogs for this last week. I know, Kevin, I am right here. So that you can see the progress that they're making. We'll do one of these videos after each, after the end of each week. Kevin has some happy piddles. Let me just clean that up real quick. There you go, buddy. In your initial confirmation email, there's some resources in there. Make sure you check them out. One of them is the link to some handouts and your video library. Definitely check that out. Watch your week 1 videos. That's the stuff that we're going to do now. I go into much more detail in those videos of how we're training the behavior and why. Okay, so make sure that you watch those. And then also you're going to have a link in there for booking your Zoom lesson. You do get 1 complimentary Zoom lesson after your puppy goes home. So get that booked. I will have my availability open this weekend, so you should be able to book it like next week or the week after before they go home. If you have any questions about anything, you can certainly shoot us an email, okay, in the interim. And we can help you navigate those things if you need help. What are you doing, buddy? All right, but we're gonna get started here with Milo, okay? He is ready to go. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna grab some snacks. I'm just using the Vital Essentials. These are nice little freeze-dried chicken snacks. These ones are soft, so it's easy for the dogs to eat. Oh my goodness. You are like ready to go. Also, I'm sweating, so I'm going to turn off that space heater. Okay, so we're going to start by charging the clicker. There's a video for this in your in the video library about charging the clicker. Basically, I want to teach the dog that the sound of the click means that I'm going to hand them food. Okay. Good boy. There we go. Were you just starving? You want some food in your belly? I know you ate breakfast. Yeah, good boy. So I'll start by charging the clicker in week 1. I don't know, anywhere from like 3 to 5 reps. Okay, and you see how I want the dog to come to me. So that's why I'm kind of moving around a little bit. I want the dog to come to me to find my hand. Good boy. There we go. Kevin is super excited, a little bit anxious to work for the food. So I'm just going to keep myself nice and calm and even keel. We always want to carry the emotional state that we want our dogs to mirror. So now I'm going to move into following a food lure. Okay, how we hold the food is important. I'm going to hold this piece of food underneath my thumb against a flat palm like this, okay? I avoid holding food like this. This will invite the puppy to bite your fingers. I want to hold it like this. This will invite the puppy to lick your hand instead of biting it, teaching them some bite inhibition. Okay, so I take this and I just bring my palm down to the puppy, and then you see how he's licking the food, and we're going to have him follow that food lure a little bit before I click and release the cookie. Okay, there we go, sweet boy. There we go. Okay, so also he's super excited that I have food. He wants to train. I'm going to make sure that I don't bring my food hand down unless he has 4 paws on the ground, okay? Here we go. Oh, I dropped one. You found it. You found that one that I dropped. Super boy. All right, so we can also work on him following his food lure, pairing it with his name. Milo. Good boy. Milo. See how when I flip my hand around, like he follows, he turns around? Good boy. Milo. Okay, so super simple exercise. Milo. But important, because we're going to use the food to teach him all the behaviors. We want to make sure we have a dog that isn't biting at our hands and a dog that understands how to follow the food that's in our hands, okay? Well, we're going to wait for 4 paws on the floor. Then we're going to bring our food hand down. Milo. Wow, look at you, buddy. Look at you. There we go, Milo. And as we're getting into the training session, he's starting to settle down a little bit in his arousal. Now, sometimes we might want to feed the dog by offering food on the ground instead of from our hand, okay? So that's going to be paired with a word, not with the clicker. And I use the word okay. So okay means that you can chase the food. Okay, that's on the ground. Okay. Right? If I'm going to feed from my hand, I'm going to mark the behavior with the clicker and then release the treat in my hand. Wait for 4 on the ground. Good boy. Okay. So I'm setting some boundaries with Milo. Okay. That the jumping and the bounciness isn't going to get him the food faster. It might actually take longer for the food to get to him. Okay, if he's jumpy and bouncy, but if he can keep 4 paws on the ground, then we're going to stay very engaged with the food. Good job, buddy. Look at you. Good boy. All right, so one more time, following the food lure. Milo. Oh, yeah, good boy. Okay. Good job, buddy. Milo. Super boy. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're gonna take a little break there because we just went over a bunch of stuff. We're gonna try to play with some toys for just a second. We're gonna let him process everything that just happened. What do you got, huh? What do we got? We got a bunch of toys. There we go. At home, you don't need to do 20-minute marathon training sessions with your puppy. You can just pick maybe a few things and practice those over the course of a few minutes, and then maybe do a few things later in the day or the next day. These training sessions are roughly 15 to 20 minutes because I'm trying to show you everything that we worked on with the puppies in the last week in one video. Right? Yes, you're a cute boy. You are. Mm-hmm. Where's your toy? Where's your toy? When I'm playing with puppies and I'm trying to teach them about toys, I usually discourage them from getting up into my lap. For sure, he's also just a baby, so you'll see me, if he puts paws on me, I may give him a little affection for a little bit, but then I'll try to quickly get him back down on the ground and engage him in toy play, because I want to teach the puppy when they're in this aroused state of mind that they should be playing with toys, that I am not the toy. And I don't want to inadvertently invite the puppy to bite at me, bite at my clothing, bite at my hair, that sort of thing, right? So that's why we want to, like right now I'm down on the ground with him, but I'm not completely on the ground so he can't climb all the way into my lap. Now, if it's like quiet time and he's, sleepy and snuggly, go ahead, get that puppy in your lap, give him all the pets and the kisses and snuggle with him. But if your puppy's acting like this and you try to restrain them in your lap, they are going to be a little bit crazy, and you're going to teach them inadvertently that, you're the thing that they should be biting, okay? So keep that in your mind, in the back of your mind when you're, good boy, look at that toy, when you're interacting with your puppy. But we are going to move on to the next set of little behaviors here. So the next thing that we're going to work on is a hand target. It's going to look similar to the following a food lure, but it is a little bit different. So I'll show you how it's different. Remember, this is following a food lure. Good boy. He's attached to my hand the whole time. This is the hand target. I'm going to detach from the puppy. Touch. And as soon as he reattaches, that's when I'm going to click and feed him the treat, okay? Waiting for 4 paws to be on the ground. Touch. Before starting again. Good boy. Touch. See how he's starting to learn that jumping doesn't really get him much, but if he sits or just even has 4 paws on the ground, that will bring my food hand down. Touch. You're so smart. Good boy. Touch. There you go. Touch. Touch. That time I did not have food in my hand, just like this time. Touch. And as soon as he targets his nose to my hand, I'm dropping the food into my hand. Yeah, you're so smart. Let's practice our first position, which is sit now. I have 3 cookies in my hand. We're going to get that puppy on the food lure, but then I'm going to lure him into the sit position. Sit. mark when he finds it. I'm going to feed him 2 cookies in a row. The third one, okay, releases him out of the position. So we're using that okay cookie in a training exercise now. Sit. Good boy. 1 cookie, 2 cookies. Oh, you dropped that one. That's okay. Okay. Good boy. Let's do that a couple more times. Ready? Sit. Super dog. Oh, Milo, you're so smart. Okay. 1 more sit. 1 more sit. Sit. Good boy. Okay. Wow. All right, and the last behavior that we're going to work in this little session is the mat. This is going to be a stay. I don't want to step on you. I always get paranoid that I didn't hit the record button. Hang on, Milo, you stay there. Oh, you're going to come with me? All right. Oh, yeah, we're recording. Come on, let's come back in here. Have some fun. Good boy. Okay, so I've got the mat. I've got some cookies. We're going to add steps to this behavior each week. In week 1, our criteria is that the puppy gets 4 paws on the mat. So as soon as he puts 4 paws on, I'm going to mark that with the clicker. I'm going to start to reward him by setting a cookie onto the mat, maybe 3 in a row. Okay. Releasing him off with that okay cookie. Reloading. Picking up the mat. Moving it to a new location. 4 paws on, gets him a click. And then 3 cookies in a row. Super boy. Okay. At this point, I'm not super concerned what position he's in, if he's standing, if he's sitting, or if he's laying down. He's experimenting with offering me a lay down sometimes, or a sit sometimes. So we'll just kind of roll with that if he offers it, like he did here. It's right there. There you go. Good boy. Okay. Let's do this a couple more times. At home, you could be moving the mat from room to room. Here, I just have a small training space, so I'm just moving it around the training space. At home, don't be afraid to move this all over. Okay, super boy. You want to do one more? Look at you, smart boy. Good job. Okay. Great. Okay, we're going to give that a little break. Like I said, we're going to add stuff to that each week. It'll look more and more like an actual stay. But we build that one in little baby steps for these little baby puppies. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to work on getting him socialized to wearing his harness. These puppies have been doing pretty good with the harness. Anytime you put a new type of gear on your dog, there is going to be a little bit of a socialization and acclimation period to it. Even with their collars, when those are first put on, even when they're really young, younger than they are now, they're scratching at them. They don't know why they're there, but then they get socialized, they habituate to them, and they're not a big deal. So we want to do the same thing with the harness. Good boy. So I find the easiest way to do this is to pick up the puppy. So I've got Milo in my arms. There's a million different styles of harnesses on the market. This harness that will go home with your puppy is a step-in style. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold the puppy, get their paws through first. Then I'm gonna do the Velcro. Then I'm gonna do the snap. So I find getting the dog dressed this way, no fuss, no fight. Then I'm going to take some cookies, set him down, okay, and let him chase some cookies. Good boy, okay. Superman, okay. Look at you, okay. Okay. As your puppy grows, maybe you decide you want to use a different style of harness. Maybe you decide you don't want to use a harness at all and you just use a collar or whatever. Like, that's totally fine. But this is part of the socialization process. Just teaching the dog that, you know, whatever we put on you is not a big deal. Yeah, what is that? Okay, good boy. We can do some of our other things with this harness on. Milo, touch. Good dog. Look at you. Touch. Super boy. Super dog. Milo, touch. Great. Let's do a couple sits. Just to get him used to the harness. Sit. Super. Okay. One more sit. Sit. Great job, buddy. Okay. Okay. Great. So I know that was kind of quick, but we're going to take the harness off for now. Notice when I pick up the dog, I lure them to come to me, put my hand under their chest, and then I'm going to feed them that treat, if they'll take it. I'm going to take the harness off the same way, holding the puppy, undo the clip, undo the Velcro, no fuss, no fight, we're done. Keep in the back of your mind, I said this in the last video and not all the videos, these dogs are small. It's really easy to pick them up, right? Don't abuse the fact that you can easily pick the dog up, because if you're constantly picking the puppy up, they might start to resent that, right? It's weird to just be like living your life and then all of a sudden you're in the air. So that's why I try to pair it with some food early on. I don't want to create a dog who runs away from me every time I try to pick them up. I want a dog who maybe enjoys or minimally tolerates the fact that they might need to be picked up sometimes, okay? Also, these dogs are going to stay small, so you'll probably be able to pick them up for their whole lives, right? I don't want a dog that resents that. Okay, so now we're gonna, whoops, you can have that. Okay, we're gonna work on some handling exercises. I'm not gonna use the clicker for this one because I need both my hands. You're gonna hear me say the word yes instead of clicking the clicker when I wanna give the dog a piece of food. So I've got a few pieces in my hand. I'm getting Milo connected to my food hand here, and then I'm just gonna start to handle him a little bit. So I'm just gonna pet him. Oh, good boy, yes. Okay, and then I'm gonna feed him for that. Then I'm gonna move on to handling different body parts. Yes. So I picked up his ears, massaged the ear canal, front foot, yes. What a good boy. Other front foot, yes. Superman. Okay, release him out of position, reload on some cookies, bring him up this way. Yes, good boy. Okay, get him to stand up. There you go. We're gonna work back feet. Yes, good job, Bob. Other back foot. Yes. And of course that tail. Yes. Release out of position. Okay. And then a little restraint, holding him still for a second. Take this hand under his belly, just kind of hold him there for a second. Yes. Right, these kinds of exercises too, yes, good boy, will also help your dog be comfortable with being handled, with being picked up, all that stuff. Yes, Superman. Okay, get it. These handling exercises just as important as sits, stays on the mat, hand targets, all those things. Your dog is going to require a lifetime of both veterinary and, for this breed, grooming care. So we have to make sure that we spend some time making sure that the dog is comfortable with being handled in all those different ways, okay? So again, all of these behaviors have videos in your video library. Make sure you get your Zoom lesson booked. If you have any questions about any of those things, please feel free to shoot us a recap. You're gonna be a sleepy boy now. Milo did fantastic for week 1. And we will see you next week for week 2.